Hello everyone and welcome back to Real Fast English. I'm Andrew Barr and today we have a topic that's not just important for English learners, but for anyone looking to make a great first impression. We're going to talk about how to properly introduce yourself in English. So whether you're getting ready for a job interview, meeting new people, or you just want to give a great first impression, this video is for you. Now, first things first. Let's talk about why proper introductions matter. When you first meet someone, a great introduction sets the tone for your interaction. It's also your chance to make a positive first impression. Now, whether it's in a formal or informal situation, knowing how to introduce yourself correctly is crucial. So, let's dive right into it. Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty, the details, while this is a video on learning English, an important part of a good introduction is your body language. A warm smile and an open posture is an important part of making a great first impression. It will make you seem more approachable and friendly. Now, I know personally that when I have been learning other languages, I study Spanish, French, and Italian, sometimes I get stressed. Ciao, buongiorno, mi chiamo Andrew. So while I'm thinking of the words, I can come across as quite stressed. But if you are struggling with the words, positive body language can still do a wonderful job of building rapport with the people that you are meeting. At least this has worked for me when I have remembered to do it. Now, let's break down the basic elements of an introduction in English. First, we have the greeting. So for informal options, we have things like hi, hey, or yo. Now, I often hear my brother saying, yo, what's up? Again, this is very informal and you should only use this with friends. Now, for formal greetings, we can say things like hello, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. And in Australian English, we often say g'day, which is a contraction of good day. But this is informal and it only works in Australia. In addition, the longer form, good day, doesn't really work in modern English, even in other countries, so I don't recommend it. Next, you can combine a greeting with your name. So for example, hi, I'm Andrew, or hi, my name is Andrew. Then you could ask what the other person's name is, what's your name? But often in English, if you say, hi, I'm Andrew, the person will respond, I'm John. Then, which is often the case in English, both people will say at the same time, it's nice to meet you, or even shorter, nice to meet you, or even it's great to meet you. But in contrast, if you know an introduction has been coming with a particular person for a while, you could say, it's great to finally meet you. Then in informal situations, it's very common to follow this with a question. For example, how are you? Or even, how are you doing? Or how's it going? Or what's up? Or what's going on? Now, we use these questions to simply get a conversation started. Now, these questions are so common that we often say them very quickly in English, and they kind of contract together. So, how are you doing often sounds like, how you doing? How is it going often sounds like, how's it going? What's going on can often be, what's going on? Now, I know this can be intimidating when English speakers talk like this. In this situation, I want you to think about contextual clues. So if someone says, hi, I'm Andrew, the next thing that follows could very likely be one of these contracted questions. So for example, hi, I'm Andrew, how's it going? Next, you might want to provide additional information about where you are from. So I could say, in my case, I'm from Australia, or I could say, I come from Australia. Or even, I was born and raised in Australia, but now I live in Europe. This provides extra information about where I'm living now. Also in my case, I could say, I'm from Melbourne, to give a specific city, but I grew up in the country, which means I grew up in a little town outside of the city. Now, the next most common component of an introduction is to talk about your occupation. People may ask you, what do you do? Or what do you do for a living? Or what do you do as a day job? And you can respond, I'm a teacher, or I'm an office worker, or I'm a student. Or you might want to be more specific if you're a student. I'm a student at Stanford University and I'm studying engineering. Now, another way to talk about profession is people say, I work in. So for example, I work in retail. I work in sales. Now, this doesn't work with every job, so you have to look this up for your particular case. Now, sometimes if you don't have a job, a really common and polite way to say this in English is, I'm between jobs at the moment. If we say, I don't have a job, it sounds a bit strong. We sometimes like to be less direct in English. Now, after talking about work, the next most common thing to talk about is your family. So we can say, I'm from a family of 5. This means that there are 2 parents and 3 children. I could also say, I'm from a family of 5 and I'm the oldest child. Now, if someone asks you, do you have any siblings? This means, do you have any brothers or sisters? And you can say, I have 2 brothers and a sister. Another common question might be, how many siblings are there? Now, the way you would respond to this question in English would be, there are 3 of us, if there were 2 brothers and a sister. Now, a common mistake that I see English learners make, particularly if their first language is a Latin language like Spanish, then they will say, we are 3, somos tres. But this doesn't work in English. We need to say that there are 3 of us, or there are 2 brothers and 1 sister, or I'm from a family of 5, like I mentioned earlier. Now, if you don't have any brothers or sisters, then you can say, I'm an only child. Now, this sounds better than I don't have any brothers or sisters. Again, sometimes we like to be less direct in English. Now it's time for some practice. Let's go through a few examples of proper introductions in English in different situations. Imagine you're in a job interview and someone asks you, tell me about yourself. You could say, hello, I'm Andrew. I studied engineering at university. And in a job interview, it's often worth mentioning your previous experience and why you want to work for the company. So I could next say, I've worked in a mining company as a project engineer, overseeing the refurbishment of major machinery. And I want to work at this company because I'm interested in this industry and I think this company is doing some innovative work. Now, of course, it's worth doing your research to understand the company and what they are doing in the industry. Next, let's pretend this is an informal introduction at a party. In this case, I could say, hey, I'm Andrew. I work as a teacher. I grew up in a small town and I've got a younger brother. I also like to really spend my spare time rock climbing. In informal situations like this, it's often worth sharing something about yourself, like a hobby you enjoy doing, because it can help the conversation flow. And there you have it. Properly introducing yourself in English can make a world of difference in your interactions. Remember to keep it relevant and maintain good eye contact and body language. Now, often we say in English that practice makes perfect. But for me, as a teacher, there is no such thing as perfect in language learning. Instead, I like to say great practice makes great. So don't hesitate to practice your introduction with friends or even in front of a mirror. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for more language learning tips and tricks for English. If you have any other questions, or even better, share your own introduction in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching and see you in the next video.